Southgate thinking, like you said, there's one or two to come back in. Who do you think he'll be bringing in for the first game of the tournament against Serbia?
Well, I think Bellingham will obviously come back in. I think he'll start with Saka.
Yeah.
He's arguably been England's best player for a couple of seasons, and although he's not been fully fit since the end of the season, I still think he'll start with him for his pace and his reliable creativity, and he's played in big tournaments before. So I would think that Bellingham will play as a 10, Saka will play on the right. I think he'll play Foden off the left, which is absolutely fine. I think Foden's so intelligent. People get preoccupied with what position he's playing, and the reality is 80-90% of the time he plays for City, he starts wide.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a narrative going on at the moment, how well he played for City in the 10. He rarely played as a 10. He drifts into that position. Yes. He started. I mean, Alvarez played there most of the beginning, the first half of the season, behind Haaland. And then De Bruyne got back as well. And on occasion, Foden did play there. Yeah, he played great because he's a super player. But I think even if he plays off the left, he'll still get in those positions. So I think that'll be your front three with Kane. And then it looks like, and I'm pleased about, I think he's going to play Trent. I mean, I don't know anything inside story, but he's in the first 11 in terms of the numbers on the squad sheet, which is always a little indicator. And I think also in the group games, knowing teams are going to bank up and have many men behind the ball, Trent is our most creative midfield player. He's the one who can see a pass from anywhere. He can open up a fence. He can cross it better than anyone. His armory, in terms of his passing variation, is better than anyone else. So I think he'll play Rice, Trent, Bellingham, and then the three I said up front. And I think at the back, that's going to be an interesting one, because the obvious choice would be Stones and Gahey. Stones has had a little problem with an injury. I really like Gahey. I think he's a terrific footballer, quick, can defend one-on-one. But I've got a feeling that Dunk might start, mainly because of Lajovic and Mitrovic.
Oh, the height.
The physicality of those two is you're not going to come up against two as physically strong as those two.
Very true.
And Dunk being 6'3", 6'4", set plays, very similar to Maguire in many ways in terms of his attributes, weaknesses. So I would think maybe Walker, Dunk, Gahey, and Trippier will play left back by all accounts because Shaw's not ready. So that's what I think he'd do, and I wouldn't be disappointed with that. I think that would give us plenty enough firepower. And then, of course, you've got all the other options we know about come if you need them off the bench.
Speaking of judging players on their ability and how they've been performing, that's what Southgate did for picking his 26-man squad. Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney both made the squad, which is a bit of a surprise considering, he's only going to start with Harry Kane and then probably bring one off the bench. Who do you see as being the number one backup, Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney?
Well, I think at the moment you'd say it was Watkins based on form and obviously the speed that he has in terms of getting in behind defenders. But that can change so quickly depending on the opposition. And
that's it.
And also the state of the game. If you're playing a team of equal quality who's coming to press you and playing a high line, then Watkins, you couldn't be more perfect. Whereas, if you're playing a team and you're struggling to break them down and you want someone with a bit more physical presence who can out-jump people or do something a bit magical in a different way, then Toney might be. I don't think you have to put them in an order.
Yeah, true.
I think the fact that you're allowed 26 in the squad meant that Southgate could take them both, and I think it's the right decision.
In terms of Gareth Southgate, obviously depending on how England go this tournament, do you see him still being in charge after the tournament, or do you think he'll walk away and the FA will look to obviously replace him with someone? And if so, who would you have as his replacement?
Well, I think it would be difficult for him to carry on if they don't win it.
It'll be his fourth tournament, won't it? So
yeah, I think he's kind of alluded to that a little bit in some of his. But if he wins it, he's got a great choice because I think Gareth's done a tremendous job. I think he's probably got desire to go and manage at club level again. Now he's got all this experience. And And if he wins it, he's going to have options, isn't he? So I'd be surprised if he was still the manager after this tournament. Although, if they were to win it, you would understand him wanting to take it on to the World Cup with this group of players we've got. No so doubt. We'll have to wait and see. But I, in terms of if we don't win it, I'd be really surprised to see him get it. I mean, in terms of moving forward, I generally like to think that we've got enough good coaches to have an English coach, although it's not the be-all and end-all. I do think that that's the way to go. Unless, of course, for some unbeknown reason, Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola want to manage England. Now, I can't see a German wanting to do it. And I'm not sure Pep would do well with international management because he's so intense. He likes to be with the players all the time. So probably the standout, I mean, Eddie Howe's probably a really standout candidate for me. Brilliant with the press, intelligent manager, can play different ways. Done a really good job at Newcastle. He would be probably my choice if he went English.